adventure, intrigue, mystery, romance, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Together in the sultry setting of tropical Havana and the mysterious islands of the Caribbean. Bold Venture. Once again, the magic names of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall bring you Bold Venture and a tale of mystery and intrigue.
Every little movement has a meaning all its own.
Say, Slate, if you're going to sing, would you mind walking on the other side of the street?
Kate said it was our song. Now I've got the hang of it. I'm not going to let it go.
How'd she teach it to you? In sign language?
Well, you don't understand a girl like Kate.
I understood a girl like Kate from the time I understood about girls.
She's sensitive, refined, throws nice parties. That dress she was wearing, knitted it with her own hands, she told me.
Mm-hmm. But how many stitches can a girl drop?
You know, Sailor, I asked myself the same question.
Oh, that's what you were doing with her on the balcony so long. Counting them, huh?
You see how wrong you can be? All she was doing was giving me a choice.
Yeah, we all noticed. You took vanilla.
Choice between every little movement and the dipsy doodle for our song. I'll have you know it threw me for a while, but then I picked every little movement.
Oh, not again, Slate. Look, we're home. It's late. You want the people in the hotel to wake up screaming?
Now, look, Sailor.
Just open the door.
Do not trouble yourself with opening of doors, Senor Shannon.
Well, what are you doing here, LaSalle? This time of night, every little policeman should be home in bed.
You are gay, senor. It grieves me to spoil such gaiety.
See, Slate? You see what happens when you sing? You spoil gaiety.
It is much more grave than that, senorita. It is you we are concerned with the most gravely. You are under arrest.
Look, I'm on your side. I tried to stop him.
You need sleep, LaSalle. You act crazy without it.
Into my car, please. And do not force me to wave my authority, this gun, in your faces. You are wanted for questioning by Commissioner Rodriguez. I prefer to deliver you in a peace to answer such questions. Understood? Si, it is understood.
Kate? Hey, where are you, Kate?
Out here.
What are you doing out here on the balcony?
Oh, hello, Greg.
I got news for you.
That's nice.
They went straight home after the party. The cops picked up the Duval dame, the way we planned. The boyfriend went along with her.
Slate Shannon?
I guess.
Now, he's a corner of Havana who appeals to me. And he can pick his own corner. If you'd have been at the party, you'd have seen why.
Don't make wishes to yourself. He's liable to wind up dead.
All right, all right.
Look, baby, business.
I said all right. Let me ask you something, Greg.
Sure.
Does it become me? These things we're playing with. Defense plans, murder. Does it go with the way I wear my hair, the way I use my lipstick?
It goes good with you. Like me.
Funny.
What is?
Spy talk. You and me. Can't make an honest dollar, so we sell out. Buy people like a nickel toy. Buy them, break them, and throw them away.
Does it worry you?
No, it doesn't worry me. I just want to get out of Havana, that's all.
This is the big one, Kate. Then we'll go to the moon. Hey, I'm talking to you.
Huh?
What's the matter? This Shannon guy warping your sense of values? This guy's just got to go, kid.
Sure he does. Break 'em, then throw 'em away.
Now, look, Rodriguez, you've held us here at police headquarters through the night, through the dawn.
It was a delicious dawn. When we are finished here, I will go home and write a poem about it.
You guys must be spy-happy, Rodriguez. You've got a loosening of the brain. What makes you think Sailor...
We have been over it to a point of weariness, Senor Shannon. The information we have in our file states that...
Sailor's been in Havana for 3 years, and it just came on you like a hot flash, huh?
The fact that Miss Duval's papers were destroyed in Europe, the fact that she cannot establish her American citizenship, these things we know and are simpatico. However, recently a dossier came to our notice.
Where were you hiding it? In a kumquat?
The dossier of Miss Duval gave us to wonder. Her manner of entering Cuba as your ward, Senor Shannon. Her sojourn in Europe. Her choice of friends there. One especially. The notorious espionage agent Kramer.
I told you. He taught me how to ski. All it was between us was slaloms and herringbones.
We have reason to believe there was more. In any case, Cuba is too vulnerable to suffer your presence, Senorita Duval. Delectable as it may be.
Well, don't cry, Rodriguez. I couldn't bear it.
You have 24 hours, Miss Duval. Use it as you wish. But at the end of these 24 hours, deprive us of yourself. Get out of Havana.
Let's go, Slate. He's eating into our time.
Yeah.
Havana will be desolate without you, Senorita.
My heart bleeds for Havana.
I'll get a cab.
Why spend good money when you can use my car?
I'll sell it someplace else, Buster. Come on, Sailor.
With the car goes a way to keep Miss Duval in Havana. No extra charge.
The man's trying hard, Sailor. I want to help him make it easy. What's all this about, friend?
My arm.
Brittle bones, huh? Come on, talk.
You'll break it.
I said talk. How come you know things about Sailor that I don't? How is it that you know the formula to keep Sailor in Havana and I don't?
You'll never know. Go ahead, strong man. Beat me up, throw me in the gutter and walk away. You'll never know. Sailor Duval gets thrown out of Havana.
Now you're being sensible.
You're going to convince me I am. Okay, Buster. You got yourself a fare. Let's go. We've been driving for a half hour. All you've done so far is point out the tall buildings.
You're dying to know how I'm going to let you keep Miss Duval forever and ever. Is that it?
It's up to you, huh? You can do that?
Me and a friend of mine.
Oh, no, it's a partnership. Who's the friend?
I'm taking you to her now. Lovely girl. You'll adore her.
Oh, she can keep me from being thrown out of Havana, thrown away from Slate. I'll darn her socks, wash her pots and pans, any little odd chores around the house.
That won't impress her. It's going to take something much more than that.
Money? How much?
Not money. Just Mr. Shannon. You get out here, Mr. Shannon. That's the house.
I'm going too.
I'm taking you home. That's the price, Miss Duval. Slate Shannon goes to talk to my friend, and I take you home. You going to buy?
She buys. Go home, Sailor. Havana needs you.
Hello, Slate Shannon. Well, if you stare at me that way, I'll blush. Then you'll lose the illusion. Come on in.
All right.
Sit down. Over there'd be nice. It's my turn to stare. I like the way you move, Slate.
I've got a hop, skip, and jump routine that used to be the talk of PS 62. You want to see it?
Sit still. Talk to me.
I like Havana best because the climate is nice all the year round.
Why don't you try me in 20 words or less?
You bewilder me. A few hours ago, you were cooing at me at a party. Now you're mixed up with... Tell me what you're mixed up with, Miss Stoddard.
You know, your mouth is nice, but no one's taught it how to speak softly.
Try my loud, clear voice. A man told me you'd know why Mr. Val is in trouble.
Listen to me. I'm greedy for a thing. Once during the last war, a defense plan was set up by the island republics. A master Caribbean defense against invasion, against enemy submarines. Now these plans have been elaborated, bettered.
Espionage. You're working for a foreign government.
And you, too. And your Mr. Val. Friends of mine who can do such things have planted documents in government files which incriminate her.
I'll take it from there. I get the defense plans and Sailor's off the hook.
That's right. Deliver the plans, and the evidence on Miss Duval will disappear.
What am I supposed to do? Walk into the Chamber of Commerce and tell them I'd like to have a copy of the Caribbean defenses?
A copy of the plans will be stolen and placed where you can get to them. You know the waterfront. Near the edge of it, to the south, there's an old fish shanty built on pilings.
Pancho's old place. It's deserted.
Sometime before 10 o'clock tonight, an envelope will be hidden between two large pilings that stick up together from the pier. A few minutes after 10, you will be there and pick up the envelope.
It's such a simple thing for an experienced spy. Why don't you do it?
So I can keep on being an experienced spy. There's always a chance of a courier getting caught, you know. And if it's you that's caught, you'll have to suffer for it, not me. I'll deny even knowing you. What do you want to do with me, Slate? Kiss me or kill me?
I'll bring you the plans, then I'll flip a coin. What time is it, sailor?
You've still got another hour.
I didn't ask you that. I said, what time is it?
9 o'clock. Slate,
Yeah? What do you want?
I'm chilly. Have you seen my scarf? No? I must have dropped it in Mr. Lane's car. Slate,
Yeah?
you sure you're doing the right thing?
I'm sure.
There's a simpler way, you know. I get on that plane tomorrow morning and leave Havana. Leave.
Well, now, don't make me get sloppy. We're going to do it my way. See this thing through, then turn it all over to the police. Plans, Kate, everything. That way we clear ourselves.
Not you, me. It's espionage, Slate. It's a word you read in books. How did it happen to us?
Wait a minute. Can I help you, Chico?
Senor Shannon. Slate Shannon.
What's the matter with you? You look sick.
Run away from them. Spies.
Get some water, sailor. Hello, Chico. Why don't you sit down?
The plans. I put them... Do not...
Here. Let me help you.
Run from them, senor. Run.
Here's the water.
You better drink it yourself. Little Chico tried to warn us about something, sailor. He didn't make it. He's dead.
Our stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and the second act of our story.
Lady Sailor, she feel a great remorse, like a girl who ride backward on a very fast horse, to wave farewell to Havana this day, and the sigh at places where she used to stay. Now comes a great big complication. A fella appears in big agitation. To make matters worse, he says spy, then he die. And the police, they raise fat brow over eye. I don't feel more music, Mr. Slate.
Forget it. How long has the Sal been in there with Chico, sailor?
About a half hour.
The little guy was trying to help us. He was saying, run away from them.
Here comes the man now, King. He'll tell us what to do. What about it, Inspector LaSalle?
The man who is dead is named Alfonso Gomez. Senor Gomez was a member of the Cuban government, a minor official, now murdered, poisoned. What do you know of him?
We don't know anything. He walked into the hotel, then he fell down. Then Slate saw he was dead. Then I called you.
I witnessed all of it, impeccably as Miss Sailor has described it. The man walked into the hotel, then he fell down, then...
Keep out of this, King. LaSalle knows Sailor is telling the truth.
I make no comment except to remind. Miss Duval? 8 hours in Havana. That is all that is left for you.
She said between two pilings sticking up together. She must have meant the ones over there.
The butterflies. I've still got them, Slate. Here. Give me a hand. Right here.
Hold on to them. We'll pin them up in a glass case and chortle over them on dull evenings.
Dull, he says. Right now, I'd settle for a lifetime of dull.
Hold the flash, sailor. But I want this to be our secret.
Ours and Kate's and Mr. Lane's and Gomez and King. You know, if we play our cards right, maybe we can get 3 sisters to sing a song about it.
I've got it.
Complete with plans?
Uh-huh. Look at the code word they use for defense plan.
Here, let's see. DEFENSE PLANS.
Come on, sailor. I just bought Havana for you.
You going to give the plans to Kate?
I told you, to the police.
I was just checking.
Now, why should I give them back to Kate?
The very question I ask myself, Mr. Shannon, over and over.
Why, look, it's that polite Mr. Lane. I already thanked you for the ride home. You came back for more?
Uh-huh. I've been trying to remember the sweet things you said.
I said thank you.
The words I've been scratching my brains for. Thank you. Thank you for the plans, Shannon.
You're ahead of yourself, aren't you, kid?
Not at all. You'll give the envelope to me. I'll say thank you, and...
Not for this, you won't.
You could have made it easy.
I like it this way. What's the matter, kid? You fall down from something in the teeth?
Slate, that car. They shot him down. We've got to help him.
Leave him alone, sailor. Come on, let's get out of here. Come on. Two more minutes, sailor. The time it'll take to walk down there to police headquarters and wave this envelope under LaSalle's nose.
And while he's sniffing it, you might remind him how those documents about me were planted. You think he'll believe it?
Sure. If we had anything to do with espionage, do you think we'd come running to him? LaSalle will... Sorry, amigo, I didn't see you.
Your sorry is accepted. And since we have bumped each against the other, por favor, you have a match?
Yeah, here.
Gracias. I must confess the reason which I have asked a match of you is for the following. To light my own cigarette, I must take my hand from the gun which I carry in the pocket.
Emily Post would never forgive you for that.
What are you, Buster? What's on your mind?
I am Carlo. On my mind is to kill you both dead if you think of going to the police with that envelope. The police station is but across the avenue. The abode of Senorita Kate Stoddard is in the opposite direction.
We just got lost, Chico.
Oh, of course. That is a lie. However, Miss Duval...
What?
Do not argue with me. Come with me for a happy thing that will happen to you. I'll kill you dead, Mr. Shannon, if you move one step. Taxi! Gracias, driver. The change is for you. Now we will walk, Miss Duval, but a short way for the happy thing.
Why don't you tell me about this happy thing? What is it? Just one little hint?
One happy thing is that Mr. Shannon cannot go to the police because I have you on one side of a gun.
Gee, that's swell.
Another as follows. There is a man in that house who wants to talk to you very badly.
What man?
You will see. In this house, Miss Duval, you will go alone. Remember, there is a gun pointed at you.
Just because you ask me like a gentleman.
Adios, senorita.
Hello, Miss Duval.
Inspector LaSalle, what are you doing?
Please come in. In here, please. I'm glad you are here, at the home of Senor Rodriguez.
Senor Rodriguez?
Si, Rodriguez, the commissioner. And I must tell you this. You are under arrest.
Again? For what?
For his murder. will go over all of it again, Senorita Duval. You made Senor Rodriguez to die, where he lies, there in the library. Shot him with a small caliber pistol in the throat.
I haven't got a small caliber pistol.
But a scarf you have. The scarf Rodriguez tore from you in his pleading that you do not kill him. It is embroidered with your name.
Look, I told you. I forgot the scarf in Mr. Lane's car. He must have planted it next to the body.
You have but to produce this Mr. Lane. We will question him.
He was shot down near Pancho's shanty on the wharf. We left him there. I've told you that 50 times.
It grieves me to call the beautiful Senorita a liar. Mr. Lane's body was not on the wharf as you told us. Perhaps you killed him as you killed Rodriguez. We did find blood on the wharf, but there was no sign of Senor Greg Lane.
Why would I kill my alibi for Rodriguez?
You had a motive. You thought by the murder of Rodriguez you could stay in Havana with Slate Shannon. You had no wish to leave Cuba. We will make that wish come true. In a prison. Perhaps for the rest of your life.
Hi, Slate. You're staring again, boy. Which is it? Are you going to kiss me or kill me?
Give me a chance to flip my coin.
There's more room inside.
I brought your envelope.
Thanks. Carlo is a very impressive little man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. What do you do with Sailor?
By now, she's probably in jail. She killed a government official, Rodriguez, the man who ordered her out of Cuba.
Oh, that's Sailor. Impetuous.
Does it bother you about her?
No, if she's in jail, there's no use bothering about her.
You bother about me?
I can't relax around you. That Gomez who dropped dead in my hotel, poisoned. Why?
We didn't need him any longer. He planted the documents about Miss Duval, stole these plans, and put them where you would find them.
Just tell me about Mr. Lane. Now, there was a fellow who acted like he had a lot on the ball. The only time I saw him get sloppy was when he wanted those plans from me on the pier.
Oh, Greg. You know, he shouldn't have done that.
Is that why you had to empty a gun into him?
I'll bet I didn't miss once.
Now, that's your reaction when somebody tries to double-cross you.
Uh-huh. Cold and calculating. So don't you try it, Slate.
Well, I brought you the plans, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, and that brings out the other me. Warm and feminine. The way you want me to be.
I get all that for the plans?
Uh-huh. Say yes to me, Slate, and we'll go a long way from here. With the money the plans will bring anywhere you want.
I know a place near the edge of the world. Sun burns through you, and at night the moon does the same.
I'll go well with that.
I'll get it.
Leave it alone. It'll go away.
I'll send it away. You lose your bet, Kate. You must have missed. It's Lane.
Greg!
Come on in. Sit down.
Greg, listen to me. Put that gun away and listen.
There's a dead man. Outside. Carlo. He tried to stop me.
Greg, listen to me. All you have to do is kill Shannon. Then it's you and I. Think of what we could do.
He'll take you anywhere you want to go, kid.
Kill him, Greg. He doesn't mean anything to me. Kill him.
Keep talking, Katie. You've got him almost convinced.
Stop staring at me like that, Greg. I'll be the way you always wanted me. The things we could do. Shannon's in the way. Get rid of him.
I'll take the gun, Greg. Thanks.
You fool! Giving him that gun.
Don't scream at him, Katie. He can't even hear a whisper up close. He's dead. You think you can scream like that again? I want LaSalle to hear it.
Slate, I knew he was dying all the time. You've got to believe me. You've got
Police Department. Let me speak to Inspector LaSalle.
Slate, wherever you want to go. That place you talked about, we'll go there. The sun will burn through us and the moon. Everything like you said, Slate.
Kate, by the time you get out of this jam, you'll be too old for that sort of thing. Sailor,
Uh-huh.
let's go dancing, Sailor. Let's get a bucket of red paint and tear Havana apart.
Uh-uh. I just want to stand here and look at Havana. I almost lost it.
I almost lost something, too.
Slade. You mean me?
Oh, my suitcase. You packed your stuff in it.
You'll get it back. Cardboard, twine, and all.
Yeah, well, see that I do.
Is that all I am to you? A cheap cardboard suitcase?
That's right. Where that suitcase goes, I go.
You mean you were going to go with me? Come here, Slade.
Why?
Come here. I'll explain it to you. That's why.
Do it again, Sailor. I didn't understand a word.
And so our two stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, have brought to a close our latest bold venture story. Special music was composed and conducted by David Rose. May we invite you to listen again next week at this time for another exciting adventure starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall together in Bold Venture.
Dangerous Assignment. Transcribed starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Yeah, danger is my assignment. I get sent to a lot of places I can't even pronounce. They all spell the same thing, though, trouble. But when I walk into the commissioner's office, I don't realize that this assignment's going to prove that sometimes the nicest thing that can happen to a guy is to get kidnapped. Morning, Commissioner. You sent for me?
Steve, does the name Ellis Chandler mean anything to you?
Ellis Chandler? Sure. Otherwise known as the notorious Colonel Chan, soldier of fortune. He's been in the Orient for years. Do anything for a fast buck.
Right now, he's in the business of smuggling guns and ammunition into the islands of the South Pacific.
That sounds like Chan, all right.
He's operating an air freight line out of Port Moresby in New Guinea. We've kept our eye on him for some time. So far, we've been unable to find out who he's working for and where the guns are coming from.
Oh, China, probably.
Last night, as Colonel Chan was preparing to take off from the airstrip at Moresby, our men decided to close in. But he managed to get away in a hail of bullets.
That guy is as slippery as an eel in a barrel of oil.
He didn't get very far, though. Early this morning, his plane crashed in the Coral Sea just off the Solomons. A Navy destroyer picked him up. He was badly injured.
Where is he now, Commissioner?
The destroyer is taking him back to the hospital at Port Moresby. Get over there, Steve. Check with Jim Turner. He's in charge of the case. Find out what you can from Colonel Chan. It's vitally important we learn who has been buying those guns and smash the operation. Well, that's it. You've got your assignment. Good luck.
The National Broadcasting Company is presenting Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy in the role of Steve Mitchell, colorful, two-fisted government agent. At all those places of the world where danger and intrigue walk hand in hand, there you will find Steve Mitchell on another dangerous assignment. Each Wednesday evening on most NBC stations, you'll hear a great lineup of stellar radio programs. For comedy, laugh with You Bet Your Life and Groucho Marx. Groucho is quick with the quips, and his cutting humor is sure to bring laughs for you and your whole family. Then, from mythical Summerfield, NBC brings you The Great Gildersleeve. It's a laugh-packed 30 minutes of fun with the Water Commissioner, Leroy, Bertie, Marjorie, and all the folks who drop into Peavy's drugstore. Yes, keep your entertainment date with The Great Gildersleeve. And from the front pages of America's newspapers, hear another authentic big story. Wednesday's a fine evening for radio entertainment when you set your dial to the NBC radio network.
Sure, I've got my assignment. Get over to a hospital at Port Moresby in New Guinea, have a chat with the notorious Colonel Chan, soldier of fortune, and find out who hired him to run guns and ammo into the islands of the South Pacific. It's late Wednesday afternoon when my plane lands, I hustle over to the hospital. Jim Turner, our agent in charge of the case, is waiting for me. And from the expression on his face, I figure I can expect some bad news.
Well, you're too late, Steve.
He's dead?
Yeah, died an hour ago. Severe head injury. I went over to his office at the airport to see if I could turn up anything.
Did you?
Yeah, a letter. Got it right here. It was in his desk. Have a look.
Mm-hmm. Signed by a man named Jarvis?
He's a Copra broker. Has an office here in town. He sent the letter to Chandler 2 days ago.
Chandler run freight for Jarvis?
Mm-hmm. Now, in the letter, Jarvis writes that a client of his, the name isn't mentioned, has expressed a desire to meet with Chandler personally. Jarvis has arranged for them to get together on the next trip.
Meaning that maybe Chan was on his way to meet him when he crashed, that maybe this client of Jarvis is the Mr. Big we're after.
Right.
I think I ought to pay a call on friend Jarvis. Looks like he's the go-between.
Come in, sir. Come in, please.
Thanks. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Jarvis.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. Your name is, Winchell?
Mitchell. Steve Mitchell.
Yeah. Hold on. My secretary said it was Winchell. Fool girl never gets anything right. Do sit down, please.
I thought you might be able to give me some information.
No, indeed. Pertaining to...
An old friend of mine, Colonel Chan.
Colonel Chan? Well, I don't believe that I am familiar
His
with...
real name is Ellis Chandler.
Ellis Chandler? The flyer?
That's right.
Well, by George, you mean to say that Chandler is the well-known Colonel Chan? Well, sir, that is a bit of news. Your old friend, sir?
Yeah. They told me at the airport that he'd taken a shipment out. Didn't know when he'd be back.
Oh, I see.
I understand he runs quite a bit of freight for you.
Oh, true. Copra, you know.
Well, I'd hope that if the shipment was yours, you might be able to tell me where I'd find him.
Oh, well, I am sorry, Mr. Mitchell. I'm afraid I can't tell you.
He wasn't flying for you then, huh?
No, a busy man, our friend Chandler. Mr. Mitchell flies freight for a good many firms here in the area. I suggest you may inquire of them. Perhaps they could tell you.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that, Mr. Jarvis.
Oh, excuse me, please. Yes? Oh, yes, put him on, Miss Moon. It's a long-distance call from a client, Mr. Mitchell.
Sure. I'll be on my way.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to help you, sir.
Well, thanks anyway.
Steve, didn't you get anything out of Jarvis at all?
Well, just before I left, his secretary put a call into him, a long-distance call from a client.
Oh?
Could have been our Mr. Big, wondering what's happened to Chan.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could find out where that call came from, huh?
Yeah, let's get out of here, Jim.
Okay. Look, Steve, I have an idea.
Yeah?
This secretary of Jarvis.
Her name is Miss Moon.
She'd know where that long-distance call came from.
Sure.
Is she the, friendly type?
Very.
Well, if we played our cards right...
She might give out with some information, huh? You go back to the hotel. I'll check with you in a while.
But what about Miss Moon?
That's my cab over there, see it?
Yeah, hey, there's a dame in it. Miss Moon?
It isn't a mountain goat, Buster. I'll see you later.
Oh, hello, Steve. I've been waiting... Hey, what happened to you? You're soaking wet.
Here, I've got something for you. A lily. You can press it in a book sometime.
Thanks. Now, look, Steve.
Okay. I took Miss Moon to a quiet little cafe for cocktails. While she's sipping a martini, I steer the conversation around it. Jarvis?
So?
So it turns out she hates the guy, doesn't want to talk about him.
Oh, great.
So we have another martini.
This loosens her tongue?
Only her throwing arm. She starts pelting everybody along the bar with oyster crackers. Now she hates everybody.
Oh, fine. Sounds like quite a doll.
2 Martini Moon, a fat gent close by calls her as he combs the crackers out of his hair. I ease her out of the place and decide she'd better go home. On the way, we pass a lily pond. That's all, brother.
I know. She wanted to go in swimming?
She shoved before I could refuse the invitation. Well, the cops show up, and I duck out fast.
And what happened to 2 Martini Moon?
Last time I saw her, she was plowing across the pond in a southeasterly direction with the gendarmes in hot pursuit.
Well, that sure was a waste of time.
Not exactly.
What do you mean?
That dunking I got in the lily pond gave me an idea, Jim. According to Jarvis's letter, Chan and Mr. Big had never met before, so I become Colonel Chan and go on to meet the big shot.
What?
Why not?
Well, Chan was on his way to meet the big shot. Only we don't know where.
Exactly what was Chan's position when he crashed?
Well, according to the Navy report, at a point some 30 miles off San Cristobal Island. He was headed south. Probably for the New Hebrides group.
Okay, so I take a dunking in the Coral Sea just off the islands. A ship headed in that direction takes me in.
Go on.
If the news gets around the grapevine that the notorious Colonel Chan had crashed and was picked up and was now stranded on one of the islands...
Sure, I get it. If you can't go to Mr. Big, he'll come to you.
I want this to look as legit as possible. I'd rather be rescued by someone, not in on the act, if you know what I mean.
Okay. While you get into some dry clothes, let me check with one of our men over in Bougainville. He'll know about the ships traveling the trader lanes.
By sundown, we've completed our plans for Operation Sea Rescue. 2 hours later, I'm aboard a Navy flying boat, and we're well out over the Coral Sea, headed for the New Hebrides Islands.
This is about as far as we go, Steve. Pilot's going to set her down.
Exactly where are we, Jim?
We're approximately 10 miles off Espiritu Santo, the largest of the islands.
That where we're going?
Yeah. Our rescue ship ought to be along in an hour or so. Just what you ordered.
Oh?
We found out there's a copra trader out of Bougainville. The skipper's a shady character named Wing Su, affectionately known as Pigfoot.
2 toes?
Oh, has a fondness for pickled pig's feet.
He sounds real peachy.
He's well known in the area, Steve. Has an in with the underworld, and he's always out for a buck. But watch your step, Colonel Chan. If the word's gotten out that the real Chan is dead back at Moresby, you'll wind up likewise.
Don't worry, my will is made out. You'll get my bicycle clips. A few minutes later, the seaplane sets down. I pile out in my one-man life raft and wait for a ship and a skipper called Wing Su, otherwise quaintly known as Pigfoot. It's 10 minutes of 11 when I look at my watch again, and then I see a ship approaching. I take the flare out of my pocket. It lights up the sky with a pretty red glow. The ship shifts course and heads for me. It looks like I'm in, but a couple of minutes later, it looks like I'm going to be done in. The trader is headed straight for me. I stand up, wave frantically, but she keeps coming right at me.
Steve Mitchell will continue his dangerous assignment in just a moment. 20 seconds from now, a fire will break out somewhere in the United States, causing untold misery and devastation. More than 11,000 persons are killed annually by these fires, many more are injured, and more than $700 million worth of property is lost. Now, the most tragic part of this statement lies in the fact that more than 90% of all fires in the home start through sheer carelessness and could be avoided. Here are a few simple rules of safety which will help you to protect your home and your loved ones from the ravages of fire. First, do not smoke in bed or discard lighted cigarettes carelessly. Second, clean out old newspapers, magazines, and other inflammable debris. Third, promptly repair all defective wiring and electrical equipment. If a wire looks frayed or worn, replace it at once. Fourth, use only those cleaning fluids which will not burn. And fifth, be careful with matches. Keep them out of the reach of small children. You can't afford to gamble with fire. The odds are against you every time. Now back to Dangerous Assignment and Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
The boat's almost on top of me. I dive to one side as it hits the raft. Suddenly, a line drops beside me. I grab at it, get hauled up over the side of the copra trader. Waddling toward me along the deck is a pudgy gent with a big grin, and when I see what he's gnawing on, I know I've found my boy Pigfoot, all right.
What's up? Most fortunate you're still alive.
You're telling me?
Most clumsy helmsman of mine almost hit you.
What do you mean, almost?
Very unfortunate accident.
Accident?
But happy ending, huh? Here. You like some Pigfoot?
Not right now.
It's very good. It's also my name, Pigfoot. Real name is Wing Su, but friends call me Pigfoot. You call me Pigfoot too, huh?
Thanks.
Your name?
Make it Joe.
Oh, so? What happened, Joe?
My plane got tired.
Oh, so? Very happy for you, Pigfoot. Come along in his boat, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Here. Money's a little soggy, but you can dry it off.
Oh, so big bankroll. Have excellent place to dry off money. Maybe you...
Thanks a lot, but no thanks. I'll let the rest of it dry off in my own pocket. Where are we heading?
Espiritu Santo.
Suits me.
There is Navy patrol boat in area. Maybe you would like to be transferred to it, huh?
Look, if we should run into the patrol boat on the way in, I'd just as soon you kept me out of sight.
Oh, so?
And here's for doing it.
Oh, so. What you say your name is?
I told you, call me Joe. The way Pigfoot's little button eyes keep flicking toward me, I can tell he figures he's got a distinguished visitor aboard, and more important, a chance to pick up a few fast bucks. So far, so good. We dock 2 hours later, and he's sticking to me like a brother. He hustles me to a back booth in a waterfront bar.
Friend of mine run this bar. Can help you.
Oh? For instance?
For instance, hello.
Well, hello.
Oh, so, Liana, this is a friend of mine, Joe.
How are you, Joe?
Better by the minute. Sit down.
Thanks. Well, what can I do for you, Joe?
You know, that's a leading question and could easily... Hey, wait a minute. Are you the friend Pigfoot was telling me about, the one who runs this bar?
That's right.
Wait. Over there near the bar, the local law.
Lieutenant Fabian.
Hey, he's heading this way.
Well, Liana. Are you perhaps trying to get your license revoked?
I don't understand, Lieutenant.
I can't think of a better way than harboring undesirable characters here.
Undesirable?
Your friend, Colonel Chan.
What? You Colonel Chan?
So what?
I thought I made it clear the last time you were here 2 years ago, Colonel Chan, that you are emphatically not welcome on this island. I'll give you exactly 2 hours to clear out.
Don't push. I'll shove off when I get ready.
I see. Very well. That's your attitude. You'll spend your time here locked up. On your feet.
Look.
I said on your feet, Colonel Chan.
Okay,
Oh, so.
You had better get out of here.
Any idea where to?
3 block down, little hotel. Room number 7 in back. You wait there for me. Now you go, quick.
10 minutes later, I'm in a broken-down hotel room. Apparently, the plan is still working okay, and I just hope I didn't slug Lieutenant Fabian too hard. Quite an act he put on. 2 hours later, Bigfoot shows up.
Oh, entire town is buzzing with story how you clip Officer Colonel Chen.
Oh?
Be very difficult for you to get off island now.
Oh, great.
But can be arranged for $1,000. American.
Well, ordinarily, I'd be delighted, Bigfoot, but it so happens I don't have $1,000 American.
Oh, so? Well, perhaps you have friend with $1,000 American dollar, huh?
Yeah, that's a thought. There's a guy I've been doing a little work for lately.
Who is he? Where can I find him?
You say the news about me is all over the island, eh?
Oh, yes.
Then just sit tight. I have a hunch he'll find you. Yeah, I figure that the word will spread through the grapevine that Pigfoot knows where Colonel Chan is hiding. It'll eventually reach the ears of Mr. Big, whoever he is, and that's what I'm counting on. Towards evening, I doze off, but not for long. Who is it?
It's your good friend, Pigfoot. Hello. You were right about what would happen, Colonel Chan.
What do you mean?
Well, after leaving you earlier today, I was contacted by your friend with much money, the man you work for.
Oh?
Yes. Lives on a nearby island and wished to talk to me. So I go over and brought him back.
Where is he?
House is not far. I take you. Come.
Hey, quite a joint.
Yes.
I'm glad you like it.
Well, Liana, why the gun?
We want you to be our guest.
You're Mr. Big?
No, Colonel John. But we know who this Mr. Big, as you call him, is. And we believe you are quite valuable to him. Need I say more?
No, I get it. You hold me for ransom, huh?
Exactly. Pigfoot, you will make the arrangements. Guard, take Colonel Chan to the cellar.
Bigfoot leaves, and the guard, a big, rugged-looking gent, takes me down to the cellar. Somehow, I've got to get free and follow Bigfoot because he's obviously going to be heading for the boy who's behind the whole deal. We stop in front of a heavy door.
Inside.
I walk into the room, then, just as he starts to close the door behind me, I suddenly throw my weight against it. It swings back into him. Before he can recover his balance, I nail him. I roll him into a quiet corner, climb out the window, and start after Pigfoot. I spot him down near the waterfront. He's covering every bar and dive on the street. He goes in, comes out a minute later, and moves on to the next one.
He must be thirsty, Mitchell.
What? Oh, Lieutenant Fabian. I think he's rounding up his crew.
Oh?
Look, Lieutenant, I'm going to try and sneak aboard his boat. Why don't you pick up a couple of your men and the boat and tag along?
Where to?
If my hunch is right, to an island inhabited mainly by the gent the real Colonel Chan was working for. The gun runner I'm after. It's dark by now. I slip aboard Pigfoot's boat without being seen and find a hiding place. Pretty soon, Pigfoot and the rest of his crew come aboard, and we shove off. 2 hours later, we dock at a small island. I slip over the side, swim under the little pier, and wade ashore. I spot Pigfoot taking off up a trail that leads to what looks like a small plantation. And I spot something else in the underbrush. It looks like abandoned fortifications, probably from the last war. I get a sudden hunch and ease over to them. I find an opening and let myself down into one of the bunkers. And then I see my hunch is right. Stacks of guns and ammunition all over. Yeah, this is the gun runner's headquarters. I climb up out of the bunker, and suddenly a guard with a Tommy gun looms up in front of me.
Aye!
The surprise is mutual. Before he can pull the trigger, I knock the gun out of his hand.
Oh!
The guard goes down and stays there. I dive for the Tommy gun, but a foot jams down on my wrist, and I look up into a gun barrel.
Sorry, Mitchell.
Jarvis, the copra broker.
That is right.
Hey, what is all... Hey, Giacomo. Colonel Chan, how you get here?
That is not important right now, and he's not Colonel Chan. More like a government agent. Eh, Mitchell?
You're doing the talking, Jarvis.
Where's the real Colonel Chan? Dead? If so, that saves me the trouble.
You're the boy who's been running the whole deal, huh?
That's right. Colonel Chan never knew that. I always posed as the go-between because I didn't want him to get any ideas about trying to take over from me. But he got ideas anyway, apparently.
That's why you set up the meeting, to knock him off. Well, a plane crash saved you the trouble.
Good. Now, after I take care of you...
Please, what about the fee for Pigfoot, Mr. Jarvis?
Are you kidding, Pigfoot? You tried to pull a fast one on Jarvis by holding me for ransom, but it didn't work.
Oh, no, please. I was only trying to keep you in a safe place so I could deliver you to him.
Take a look at his face, Pigfoot. You think he's going to buy that story? You know too much now. The only payment you'll get from him is a slug.
Oh, no.
Don't listen to him, Pigfoot. He's talking crazy. As soon as I take care of him, we'll have...
You're next in line, Pigfoot, and you know it.
Oh, so sorry, but I better leave now.
Stay where you are.
No,
Don't move.
Jarvis takes his eyes off me just a moment to swing his gun toward Pigfoot. That's what I'm waiting for. I grab his arm. I'll take that.
Come on now,
Hey, Pigfoot, you left your sandals.
Mitchell.
Huh? Oh, Lieutenant Fabian.
We rounded up Jarvis's men. Our friend Pigfoot seems to be in a hurry.
I'll guarantee he's never moved that fast before.
Want him picked up? After all, he tried to kidnap you.
But he also helped me a moment ago when he made a break like I was counting on him to. Now, let's figure he squared things up there.
All right. Perhaps we can use him again sometime anyway. I say, look at him go.
Go. Man, he's gone. Real gone.
Our star, Brian Donlevy, will return in just a moment. Here's a tip to help you breeze right through your housework every day of the week. Join the millions of American homemakers who every day set their radios to NBC and enjoy the host of popular programs broadcast on most of these same stations. There's laughter with the Bob Hope Show, Bob and Ray, and Dave Garroway. Meredith Wilson brings informal chatter and music to suit every taste on his show Every Day, while Tommy Bartlett presents Welcome Travelers from Chicago. Strike It Rich, the show with a heart, presents enjoyable listening with Warren Hull. It's NBC's prescription to chase away your housework blues. So, whether you're doing the dishes, dusting, fixing lunch, sprucing up the house with your vacuum cleaner, or any one of 1,000,001 things that housework entails, be sure to set your dial to this NBC station where you'll hear the finest in daytime radio programs. Remember, you'll hear Bob Hope, Dave Garroway, Tommy Bartlett, Bob and Ray, Meredith Wilson, and Warren Hull Monday through Friday on most NBC stations.
Next week, London. I've got to catch a killer who's got a 7-year head start.
And that will be Steve Mitchell's dangerous assignment next week. Included in tonight's cast were Ray Dietrich, Bill Conrad, Paul Frees, Betty Lou Gerson, and Don Morrison. This is John Storm speaking. Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy in the role of Steve Mitchell with Herb Butterfield as the commissioner, is written by Bob Reif and Adrian Jandot and is directed by Bill Karn. Be with us again next week at this same time when Brian Donlevy, starring in the role of Steve Mitchell, will embark on another transcribed Dangerous Assignment.
Presenting Orson Welles as the Third Man. The Lives of Harry Lime. The fabulous stories of the immortal character originally created in the motion picture The Third Man, with zither music by Anton Karas.
I won't burden you with the sordid details about how I met two very lovely Brazilian women named Inez and Aurora. They were very rich. They were in Paris on a buying spree, and the three of us became inseparable friends in very short order. I told them I was a dealer in masterpieces of famous painters. They were most eager to see my collection. So I began to browse around old antique shops, looking for something to sell them.
And now, Orson Welles as Harry Lime, the third man, in today's story, Art is Long and Lime is Fleeting.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Please, can I help you?
I'll just look around, thanks.
Of
Thanks so much.
course, if you tell me what you are
I'm looking for a painting, Impressionist school, perhaps. I don't
I have
quite know.
a few oils. This way, please. Here they are. They are very cheap.
Yeah, not very good either.
I
are
have
they?
one that is a little more expensive if you would step this way.
Huh?
Now, this one is very good.
There's a picture of a bather. And in a dark light, and from a considerable distance, it might look a little like a Renoir. I looked the picture over carefully to see if it had a signature on it, but luckily enough, there wasn't any inscription.
A charming painting.
Now, who painted it?
It is hard to say.
Looks just a little bit like a Renoir, doesn't it? Yes. How much is it?
10,000 francs.
I'm sorry, old man. That's robbery.
It is a very fine painting, and as you say, it looks a little bit like a...
Hey, what I'll do,
Renoir.
I'll give you another 1,000 francs, and you put the picture in the heavy old gold frame there hanging on the wall.
Oh, no, monsieur. That frame cost much more than the picture.
Okay. 12,000 francs. No more bargaining. Is the deal?
All right.
I'll wait for it now.
I know you will appreciate it.
I expect someone else to appreciate it far more than I. I took a suite at the elegant George Sank Hotel and hung the picture on the wall with a tiny spotlight over it. Underneath, I had a small brass plaque which read simply, Renoir. Then I invited Inez and Aurora to have cocktails with me in my suite.
That was a very funny story, Miss Harry.
My dear Inez, it's true, every word of it.
I do not believe it. You make it up to keep us in smiles.
I'd do anything to keep you both in smiles, as you put it.
You're very charming to us, Harry.
I am most enthusiastic to see the painting.
We'll get to Mr. Renoir by and by. How about another drink?
Not for me, one is enough.
Me for two. I mean, two for me. I am mixed up.
I understand you perfectly. Here is me for two.
Shall we not see the picture now?
All right. Step this way, lovely Inez. Beautiful Aurora.
Thank you for your compliment.
Oh, I don't compliment you. I merely told the truth.
It is over dark in here.
I'll put the light on in a minute. I'd like you to stand here as the best distance.
Oh, it is so exciting to me to see a real Renoir.
It's exciting to me every time I look at it. Now I'll switch on the overhead light. It's magnificent, isn't it, Inez?
Oh, it is beautiful.
I've looked at this picture 1,000 times. Just can't part with it. Look at the form of the bather, so chaste, so full of feeling. See how the master subjugates detail, form.
Much do you want for this painting, Harry?
I don't think I want to sell it.
Oh, you said you would.
You are your mind changing?
Well, it's true. I need the money, but, well, you understand it. It's the one beautiful thing in my life.
But you are a dealer. You must not go backwards on your word.
Let me think about it. There's no hurry, after all.
But we must have
Let's have lunch tomorrow. We'll decide then,
If you do decide, how much do you want for it?
Oh, I'd never sell it under 4 million francs.
4 million?
Too much money for you and too hard for me to part with it, so we'll just remain friends, shall we?
I do not care how much money. I must buy it.
We'll meet tomorrow at the usual place for lunch and talk it over. In the meantime, you think about it, and I'll think about it.
All right, Harry. 1:30 tomorrow.
Good. I'll be there. They left a few minutes later. It was working out fine. They were on the hook. All I had to do was to carefully reel them in. Then came a knock on the door. Yes?
Hello, Harry.
Paul Bazin.
So, you still remember me. I thought you would have forgotten me by now.
I never forget old friends. We used to be partners, old man.
A partner, eh?
That's right.
Well, they hustled me into jail. You hustled off to the Riviera with all the money.
It was an accident of fate. I was awful sorry you were caught, old man. There's nothing I could do.
You're going to have an accident too, Harry.
I don't do anything foolish. What good will it do you to shoot me?
You have no idea how much good it will do me.
Nothing.
Like water to a thirsty man. I've been waiting for 2 years in a Luxembourg prison for this.
Listen, old man, they guillotine people here in France for committing murder.
If they catch them.
Look, if you put the gun down, I'll tell you about a little deal that's coming off tomorrow. I'll cut you in on it.
I'm not interested.
Your share will be 2 million francs. In cold cash. That's right.
2 million?
2 million. Put the gun down, I'll tell you about it.
You'll talk better this way. Talk fast. Maybe I'll be interested.
See those 2 women coming out of my suite?
I saw them.
They think this is a Renoir hanging on the wall. See over there? They're going to give me 4 million francs for it.
And you are going to give me half out of sheer generosity?
No, not out of generosity. You can help me. Besides, you have some money coming to you.
I'm going to get it, too.
A very rich Brazilian, ladies. And tomorrow at lunch, we're going to clinch the deal. I want you to be a friend of mine, you know, an art dealer.
I don't know anything about paintings.
Doesn't matter. Neither do they. Is it a deal?
How do I know you're telling me the truth?
Well, I'm afraid you'll just have to take my word, old man. I don't know how to prove it to you. Till tomorrow at noon.
I'll phone the women.
They're not at their hotel yet.
I'll wait. I'll be asking for 3 million out of the 4.
Very good idea. How about a drink, Paul?
No.
Well, I hate to drink alone. However, I shall have myself a small one. We waited an hour until Inez and Aurora returned to their hotel. Paul was satisfied that I told him the truth, and he finally left me. Until lunch tomorrow. I began to think of a plan to get rid of this fellow. I can't stand people who hold grudges for years. It's a sign of immaturity. We met at lunch as scheduled.
Mr. Bazin, what is your opinion of Impressionist painting? How does it compare with the modern?
Well, I think it's very different.
Mr. Bazin does not particularly like modern art. He hates to talk about it, as a matter of fact. He's against any form of art that isn't immediately comprehensible to everyone. That's
yes,
his
I
point of
feel
view.
very strong about it.
Me also. Abstracts are to me crazy painting.
Yes, I think so,
How
too.
about another cup of coffee?
No, thank you. Let us talk about the Renoir.
Yes. By the way, when are you two lovely women leaving Paris?
Yet we do not know. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month.
Oh, it's hard to leave this city. Chance everybody.
We have decided to pay you 4 million francs.
Oh, did you? Well, we'll think about it some more, shall we?
But that is the price of which you gave us.
Yes.
Oh, I am getting all mixed up again.
You haven't changed your mind, Harry.
Well, not exactly. Let's give it another few days. You're going to be in Paris a few weeks. There's no hurry.
You don't want to sell it?
Well, I do. That is, I must. But you see, after I left, I had an offer from the Fontaine Galleries, about 5 million. I'm very embarrassed by it. I don't like this kind of business.
But you said yes to 4 million yesterday.
I didn't make a promise. I said I might sell it for 4. You must understand, I'm a businessman. I must sell it to the highest bidder, after all. Why don't you forget the Renoir? I'll be glad to show you other paintings. Very fine, famous artists for much less money.
We will give you the request you ask.
Well, it's worth much more, I assure you. How do you feel about it, Inez?
We will buy it for 5.
If you can afford it, I think you're making a wise investment.
I'll write a check for you right now. Give me the checkbook, Aurora.
If you don't mind, I'd rather have it in cash.
Well,
Well, I have some very urgent bills to pay. It'd take a week or so to clear through the bank. I can wait until this evening. You can get the check cashed at your bank. We can meet for dinner. We'll have a real big celebration,
A party.
Yes.
You will be guest to us.
Oh, no. You're my guest, please.
You come too, Monsieur Bézin?
With pleasure, mademoiselle.
Where shall we meet? Shall we go to my favorite restaurant, Tour d'Argent?
I know where it is.
Oh, it's one of the best in Paris. Now, I must go. Garçon, addition. I was quite pleased with the way things were going. My only regret would be that I would have to leave Paris. Have to leave Aurora. Get rather too fond of Aurora. She was my type, beautiful, not too encumbered with brains, but she had lots of spirit and exuberance. And as they say in France, as a fair son, as a fair. I had one real problem, to get rid of Bazin. But he stuck close to me, like a tree to the earth.
I'm going back to the hotel with you.
Okay, if you want, old man.
I won't.
Might be better if you went home and packed. We're going to have to leave Paris in a hurry.
I'm staying with you until after dinner.
You're a very suspicious fellow, Paul.
I trust you as far as I can move the Eiffel Tower.
You don't have to trust me. We're all meeting for dinner at Tour d'Argent. The restaurant can't run away, can it?
But if you double-cross
It's impossible, Paul. All you have to do is show up at the restaurant.
Well,
Pack all your stuff and pick me up at the hotel. We'll go down together,
all right.
Okay.
But if you try to do any tricks, Harry, I'll swear I'll hunt you down and I'll kill you.
Now,
I mean
Paul,
it.
I know you're a very sincere fellow. Meet me at 5 o'clock in my suite.
Orson Welles returns in just a moment as the third man.
Now, Orson Welles, as the third man, continues with today's story, Art is Long and Lime is Fleeting.
I had to work fast now that I was rid of Bazin. I hurried to my hotel and began to pack my clothes, and I telephoned my 2 Brazilian customers.
Hello?
This is Harry.
Oh, Harry. You have your mind not changed.
No, I just learned that the Tour d'Argent's closed tonight.
Well, then we shall someplace else go, no?
Of course. There's a superb Italian restaurant called the Casa Bellini. Write the address down, will you?
I have a pen.
Good. It's 43 Rue Victoire. I made a reservation for 7:30.
We will be
Tell Inez I'm sorry about the change.
Oh, it is very nothing.
I suppose she's gone to the bank, hasn't she?
Oh, yes.
That's good.
She will be back soon.
What makes you so happy?
Inez says I have for you much liking.
And is it true?
Yes, Harry.
True for me, too, Aurora. I think you're the most charming woman in all of Paris.
You are to me, too. Oh, I get mixed up again.
I know you and I are going to be the very best of friends. See you tonight, honey. I packed quietly, wrapped up the painting, and got ready to leave. The sooner I left my suite, the better. I had a hunch that Bazin would change his mind, come early. Yes? Hello, Paul.
You are about to leave?
Well, I was just going down to pay my bill, as a matter of fact.
You lied.
You know, you're getting to be awfully unpleasant, Paul, old man.
You are getting up to something.
I am getting up to 5 million francs for this little package here.
I think you were trying to run away. I think I came just in time.
You're not thinking. No matter where I ran, I'd still have to be at the Tour d'Argent at 7:30.
Where were you going when I came into the room?
I told you I was going downstairs to pay my bill. You're being very dull, Paul.
You don't fool me.
I think you better come along, huh?
We'll go down together in a little while.
Now, look here, Paul. We have 3 hours until we go to the Tour d'Argent. You're not going to stand there with a gun in your pocket all afternoon.
That is exactly what I am going to do.
Well, I have to go to the bank, arrange for my plane ticket. You're being quite a bore, old man.
You never had money in the bank in your life.
So happens that you are cruelly wrong.
Show me your bank book.
It's downstairs in the hotel safe with all my other valuables.
You are lying.
A partnership based on suspicion and mistrust can never be successful, old man, really.
We are going to be Siamese twins for the next few hours. It's no use arguing with me.
Well, if that's your decision, you might as well sit down. You get very tired standing up there for 3 hours.
You worry about me a lot, don't you?
I was brought up very carefully. It's ingrained in me to be a hospitable host. I'm glad you're taking my advice. Like some refreshments. A drink, perhaps?
No.
Just want to sit,
That's right, just sit.
Well, don't doze off now.
You think you're funny.
No point in being grim about it. Brought some cards?
No.
Have a set of dice somewhere just to while away the time.
I don't want to do anything.
Oh. You just want to sit.
That's right.
I couldn't catch him off guard. He sat in the chair and kept his beady eyes on me. I don't mind people staring at me, but as I had a gun, and he discovered my defection, he would become peeved, I thought. And that gun might go off. He just sat there for a long time, and then even he became bored and just sitting. Tilted his chair against the wall, rocking himself back and forth, the pressure of his toes against the floor. A sudden kick on the back legs of the chair when he was tilted would certainly give me an advantage. As he fell backwards, I hurled myself at him, pinioning his arms. He managed to get the gun out of his pocket, but I rolled the chair over his arm, and he let go of the gun. I seized the gun and placed it against the back of his head with a good deal of force. The fight was over in less than a minute. He lay there quietly. I figured he'd be out for an hour at least. Yes. Mr. Bazin was out of the picture.
Forgive us for being late, Harry.
Oh, please.
It was the fault of me. I took too much time to seem beautiful.
You don't seem beautiful. You are, both of you.
Monsieur Bazin, he's not coming.
He won't be here. He wanted to come very much, but he was suddenly taken ill.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes, he'll be all right, I think.
I am much hungry. You make this election for us. We do not know the French word.
Oh, I'd be delighted. Perhaps we better settle our business first, though. Business before pleasure, you know.
Oh, let's eat first. There's no hurry. We have all the night.
I didn't like this. They didn't seem to be so eager for the painting as they were at lunch. Maybe they were only hungry. Maybe. I didn't like their attitude at all. How do you like your pêche melba, Aurora?
It is superbly. It will make me fat, and then you will not like me anymore.
It'll make you fat, and I will adore you even more, darling.
We must thank you for a very fine dinner.
Oh.
The best we eat in Paris.
I'm very pleased that you're pleased. And now that we've eaten, shall we finish our business? You know, the Renoir is all wrapped up.
Oh, hurry. We haven't had our brandy yet.
But we can negotiate while we wait for the brandy,
Oh, you Americanos, so impatient.
I Americanos like very much. Impatience in men is very nice.
It's a custom in our country to get our business over with first. Very droll in that respect. Then we can all relax and enjoy ourselves, shall we?
Oh, Harry, you do not say a word all evening about my frock, which I wear for you
Besides,
specially.
It's a beautiful dress, perfectly beautiful. I must say that If you've changed your mind about the painting, it's perfectly all right. You don't have to be embarrassed.
Oh, no, Harry. We have not changed
Ah,
our mind.
good.
Let's have the brandy and then we settle the business.
Okay. Garçon? There was definitely something wrong. They were obviously stalling. But stalling for what? I was getting very uneasy. The waiter brought the cognac, and they sipped it a drop at a time. For 15 minutes, they dawdled over it. I decided not to wait any longer. I forced the issue.
Tell us something about yourself, Harry.
Oh.
About America, I mean, when you lived
Really,
there.
there's nothing much to tell. I grew up like any average American boy. I got interested in art, but I learned soon enough that I'd never be a good painter.
You were an
So
artist?
Well, not much of one. Now, if you'll forgive me for bringing this up again, I will give you the painting in exchange for 5 million francs. I'm afraid that we'll have to do it now or not at all.
But Harry...
I mean it, Inez. We'll all feel better once it's done.
Well, here's the money. You can count it.
Oh, I trust you. Oh, please. I won't even open the envelope. And here's your Renoir. I hope you'll enjoy it as I have.
We will.
Mademoiselle, oh, I am sorry. I am late. I just couldn't get away.
Oh, Monsieur Bordet, this is a Harry Lime.
Now, how do you do?
I am pleased to meet you.
Monsieur Bordet is an expert on Renoir's painting. He's from the Louvre Museum.
Oh, the Louvre. Eh? Now, if you'll just excuse me for a
Just
minute.
a minute, Monsieur Lime. I have got to leave. I'll just take a quick look.
Wait,
Please sit down.
I'll unwrap it.
I began to figure the distance to the door. Looked like this might be one of the times to run and fight another day. Monsieur Bordet motioned the gendarme who'd evidently accompanied him to come into the room, close the door. Well, I took care of that. I just have to bluff it out. The expert slowly unrolled the picture, held it this way, that.
How much did you agree to pay this man, mademoiselle?
5 million francs, monsieur. Is it too much?
Too much or not enough?
I don't like your tone. Just what do you mean by that, sir?
The light in here is too dim for me to make a definite opinion, but it could be a Renoir. There is a painting of his with this same general composition. The figure is not bad. The colors like his.
You think it is a real Renoir?
I was sure it was all right.
I would like to take it with me and examine it more thoroughly. But I can say this. If it is a Renoir, it is worth 20 million francs.
20 million!
Qu'est-ce qui arrive, hein?
Monsieur.
De quoi s'agit-il, hein?
You are not going to arrest anybody. Keep your hands high.
Here, better do as he says. He looks dangerous.
So the picture's worth 20 million, eh? I'll take it with me.
Just a minute.
Now stay as you are or you'll get a bullet. And don't follow me.
Bazin grabbed the picture and ran. Talk about a break. With the gendarme, the girls, and Bordet, I ran after him, yelling, "Stop, thief! Stop, thief, thief!" All the time blessing myself for not having tied him as securely as I thought I had. All I had to do was to follow him away and then get lost. As I tore along in his wake, I noticed a couple of street Arabs huddled around a small fire. They scattered in panic. I sprinted, tackled. He hit the sidewalk. The picture flew out of his hand. I shoved it into the fire. "I've caught you, you rogue. Now I'll teach you to steal, thief."
Let me go.
No, no, monsieur, no, no. Do not attack him. We will take care of him. It is not wise to beat a police officer at Paris.
I'll kill you for this slime.
I'm afraid all you'll do for a while is a nice stretch in the Bastille, my friend. Take him away.
Come along, mon petit. I think we walk to the station. I have a few suggestions to make to you on the way.
My wonderful
Goodbye,
Harry.
old man.
You have the bandit captured.
Yes.
You are so brave, so wonderful.
You are not hurt. You are all right.
A wonderful action, Monsieur Lime. An heroic deed. But where is the picture?
The picture, it must be right here. It flew out of his hand when I tackled him.
Oh, the picture, it is burning. It will be destroyed.
Get it, Harry, it is burning.
I'll get it. I'm afraid it's completely gone.
Oh.
Of course, I made sure the picture was burned. I managed to grab a corner of it, but I had to drop it back into the flames. What a pity. The girls in Bordet were very concerned over my hand, but what's a few burns compared to a term in the local hoosegow and 5 million francs, not to mention getting rid of Bazin. Bordet and I saw the girls home, and then after making a date for the next evening with Aurora, I offered to drop him at the Louvre, where he still had to make his report.
There is only one thing remaining to say, Monsieur Lime.
Yes? What is that?
I would not want you to think that I am such a bad expert that I really had any doubts about the picture.
You mean that it was an original?
No, I mean that it was not.
Oh, I see. Oh. Well, how much do you want, Baudet?
Nothing.
Nothing? I don't get it.
Monsieur Lime, if I had everyone arrested who tries to sell a fake picture, the prisons of Paris would be full. I wanted only to give you a chance to get away without embarrassment. I hope this will be a lesson to you, and that you won't try it again.
Monsieur Baudet, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your courtesy. You're a wonderful fellow. I must tell you, I want you to know what an inspiration people like you are to people like me.
Harry Lime returns in just a moment. And now, Harry Lime.
Let's face it, friends, the world is very generously populated with mugs. Millions and millions of mugs just waiting like the proverbial sheep for the proverbial fleecing. In fact, if they weren't shorn from time to time, they wouldn't be comfortable. It always makes me laugh to read that one of the mugs was an innocent victim of a confidence game. Now, just how innocent, I ask you? If you want a path beaten to your door, don't waste your energy inventing a better mousetrap. No, just hang a sign out, scarce items at prices you want to pay. However, till we meet again, look after yourselves. And remember, if you don't, no one else will.
Fed up with the everyday grind? Tired out from the summer heat? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are prisoner in the magnificent mountain retreat of the richest man in the world. While haunting you, terrifying you, is the knowledge that the ultimate escape will be death.
Tonight, we escape to an isolated Montana plateau and the strange secret of a stranger family, as F. Scott Fitzgerald told it in his fantastic story, The Diamond as Big as the Ritz.
I'd been going to St. Midas Prep School for a couple of years. This was my second summer vacation. I'd met this fellow, Percy Washington, during the winter, and got to be pretty good friends with him. Only I didn't know about his family or where he came from or anything like that. Of course, I knew he must be rich. All the fellows at St. Midas came from wealthy families. So when he invited me to spend the summer at his home out west someplace, it was okay by me. We'd been on the train overnight when he first mentioned it. I don't even remember now what led up to it. We'd been talking about first one thing and then another. Percy, exactly where is your home? I mean, you bought the train tickets.
It's
and all,
in
so...
Montana, sort of a
Montana?
little place.
Oh, yeah. Pretty wild country, isn't it?
Some of it is.
Now, you take Hades, Missouri, where I come from. It's been settled for 150 years. One of the first towns on the Mississippi River.
Indeed.
Oh, sure.
That's very interesting.
I sure do appreciate your not making jokes about it the way some of the fellas do when I say I come from Hades. Why, you know my father's
John.
plantation...
Do you know that my father is the richest man in the world?
Oh?
By far the richest?
I read about a man that paid taxes on a $5 million income.
Small fry. If my father paid tax on his real income, he'd disrupt the whole economy of the United States.
No kidding. Oh, I like rich people. The richer a fellow is, the better I like him.
My father could buy out all of the millionaires in the country and not even know he had done it.
Is that a fact? I visited the Schlitzer Murphys once. They're plenty rich. Why, their daughter Vivian's got rubies as big as hen's eggs, and sapphires that glow like headlamps.
I like jewels. Always have. I used to collect them instead of stamps.
And diamonds. The Schlitzer Murphys had diamonds as big as walnuts.
Oh, that's nothing.
Huh?
Nothing at all. My father has a diamond as big as the Ritz. Please, I'm not joking.
But you mean as big as the Ritz-Carlton Hotel?
Exactly. My father has a diamond as big as the Ritz.
We got off the train about dusk at a little whistle stop called Fish, Montana. There wasn't anything there, not even a station. Just a broken-down old buggy and 4 or 5 sheep herders lounging beside the track. And I suppose wondering who we were. Anyway, Percy and I climbed into the buggy, and without saying a word, the driver cracked his whip, and off we went. I don't know how far we traveled. We didn't seem to be following any road, though, and after an hour or so, it got dark. But the driver kept right on, never saying a word.
I hope you'll pardon this inconvenience, John, but we have to take certain precautions, you know.
Oh, that's all right.
Anyway, we're almost there.
You're, home, you mean?
Oh, no, to the place where we consider it safe to transfer.
A transfer? What do you mean?
Oh, there's the signal now.
Headlights.
Pull up the horse, Absam. Here we are.
An automobile, but how? There's no road.
Oh, this car's special built. Doesn't need roads.
Welcome home, Master.
Good evening, Gigson. Well, come on, John. Let's get in.
Gosh, this car, what's it made out of? Silver?
No, platinum. Those are emeralds in the hubcaps.
And the upholstering, it's fur.
Mink.
You're ready, Master?
Anytime, Gigson. You've probably noticed the exceptional brightness of the headlamps. The lenses are cut from diamonds.
Boy, what a car.
This old junkie. We use it for a station wagon.
Hey, why did we stop, Percy? This is just a deserted canyon.
Oh, we're not there yet, John. Wait, you'll see. They sent down the hooks while we were coming from the station.
The hooks?
Yes, to attach to the wheels, you know. That's what Gigsom's doing now. Incidentally, Gigsom will look after you during our visit.
Look after me?
Your personal valet. Of course, there'll be other slaves available, too, whenever you need them.
Do you have a lot of slaves?
300 or 400, I suppose. Oh, all ready, Gigsom?
Yes, Master.
Hello! Hoist away!
Look, we're leaving the ground.
Yes, there's a hoist up there on top of the cliff. Has cables about a quarter of a mile long.
But what for?
Oh, it's the only way in.
Imagine hoisting an automobile a quarter of a mile up the side of a cliff.
It's really nothing. As you may have guessed, John, this is not going to be like anything you ever saw before in your life. Well, John, there it is.
That's your home? It's magnificent. Palatial.
It's not bad.
How big is it?
I think it's around 140 rooms, but Father may remember exactly. Then, of course, there are other buildings, slaves' quarters and things.
Why hasn't anyone ever found out about it? This place, I mean.
Well, for one thing, it's the only 5 square miles in the United States that have never been surveyed.
Hmm? Why not?
Oh, things were arranged.
I don't see how that's possible.
Believe me, it hasn't been easy. I understand Grandfather had to bribe 3 government bureaus, a vice president, and half of Congress once to keep the place off the maps.
But somebody surely stumbled onto it, prospectors, people like that.
Oh, yes, that happens occasionally. Then, of course, we have to arrange things.
You mean...
Not always. Usually we just take them prisoner and keep them, like the aviators.
Planes come here?
Once in a while they fly over. Of course, they never get away. We have 9 anti-aircraft batteries around the hills.
You shoot them down?
Oh, yes, great sport. It does upset Mother a bit. And there's always a chance one might get away. That's Father's greatest worry.
This whole thing, it's fantastic.
Oh, come now, John. I picked you for a fellow with his feet on the ground. And you haven't seen anything yet, you know. This is only the beginning.
And it was only the beginning. We crossed the acres of lawn and entered the great chateau. And from that moment on, vision upon vision tumbled together in a gigantic kaleidoscope of color, symmetry, and exquisite harmony. There were corridors lined with gleaming crystals lit by lamps cut from emerald, and great halls carpeted with chinchilla fur and ermine. And there was a white-haired man, pink-faced and very pleasant, who was Percy's father. And Percy's mother, a lovely lady with dark hair piled high on her head like a fragile queen. Soft music came from hidden places. Perfumes filled the air. Exotic foods and wines more rare than pearls. I thought there could be no more nor greater wonders. I was wrong. There were many more and greater ones. And one of them I discovered the next morning in the garden.
Hello there.
Yeah? Yeah. Oh, you're lovely.
My name is Kismine. You're John Unger. You're a friend of my brother. You from the East?
No, at least not exactly. I'm from Hades.
Oh?
Missouri.
Oh. Would you like to sit down here on the grass?
Why, yes, sure I would.
I'm going east to school this fall. Do you suppose I'll like it?
I think so. Of course, it'll be different from all this.
That's what Jasmine says. She's in the East now. I've never been outside.
Who is Jasmine?
My sister. She's older than I am.
I hope you won't be offended, but you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
Yes, I know.
What?
I surprised you, didn't I? A year ago, I would have said thank you. But Father says it's very necessary to learn to take things for granted. So now I just take it for granted that I'm beautiful. You see?
You're pretty sophisticated, aren't you?
Oh, I'm not at all. I believe girls should enjoy their youth in a wholesome sort of way.
Oh, so do I.
I like you, John. I wish you'd spend some of your time with me this summer, not all with Percy.
I will, Kismine. I will.
You may be in love with me if you'd like to. I'm absolutely fresh ground, you know.
I am in love with you.
Of course, we'll have to meet secretly. My parents wouldn't permit it if they knew.
Then that's what we'll do.
I have to go now. I'm supposed to be with Mother at 11. Aren't you going to ask me for a kiss? Jasmine says boys always do nowadays.
Some of them do, but not me. We don't expect nice girls to do that sort of thing. In Hades. It was a funny thing. Percy's family were polite, friendly, always smiling. And yet all the time I had a feeling that some terrible and golden mystery lay hidden just around the corner. A few days after I'd met Kismine, Percy remarked casually that an unusual event had occurred. A man had escaped from the cage. I didn't know what he meant then. But the next morning I was walking with Percy's father on the grounds of the estate. Mr. Washington, Percy said something about a man escaping from the cage. I didn't quite get it.
The cage, well, perhaps you'd like to see it. This might prove interesting, just as a novelty. It's over there.
These trees, they're 60 feet tall. And they have roses blooming all over.
Yes, it's a rather interesting development by a Swiss botanist. These are the only ones in the world.
Oh, I'll be darned. Although I suppose you'll see them all over the country in a few years.
No, these are the only ones. That was arranged. Here we are, the cage.
It's a pit dug in the ground. And a grating on top.
Oh, yes, it's not really a cage, except in a certain sense. Well, boys, how are you getting along?
How many men are there down there?
About 50, as I recall.
Who are they?
Oh, aviators we've shot down, wandering prospectors, men of that sort.
But why are they kept there?
They've all had the common misfortune of having discovered El Dorado. Gentlemen, I am sure you would like to know that your companion who departed without my permission has been taken care of. Yes, he was shot by some of my agents in 14 different places. Golf, Mr. Unger?
They found him then? The man who got away?
No, those places were towns. My agents were overeager. None of them could offer a positive identification. I'm afraid the man may still be at large. You see, it's not all utopia here. No, we do have our difficulties.
Isn't it a little unnecessary, holding them like that?
No, not at all. It's the only way to keep this place hidden.
Yes, I guess that must be important. Oh, Percy was telling me something on the train. I thought he was kidding, but... Well, he said you had a diamond as big as the Ritz-Carlton Hotel.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, it's much bigger than the Ritz. Much bigger.
Well, summer went on. I was more and more in love with Kismine. She was priceless, exquisite, like no other girl in the world. After a couple of weeks, I kissed her, of course. And I was really in love for the first time. I should have known, should have put two and two together when Percy's father showed me the cage, but I didn't. Until one morning late in the summer, I slipped off with Kismine to the rose gardens. Kismine, I think we ought to elope.
Oh, I don't know. It would be much nicer to be married here. But then it'd be more romantic to elope. Yes, all the Sunday supplements would write stories about fabulous heiress elopes. I knew an heiress from Omaha once, but I don't think you'd like her. She visited my sister here.
Oh? You've had other guests, then?
Well, yes, we've had a few.
Wasn't your father ever afraid they might talk outside?
Well, to some extent. Let's talk about something more pleasant.
What's so unpleasant about it?
Well, I grew quite fond of some of them.
You mean they told? And your father...
They didn't get a chance to. Father had to be sure.
But that's murder.
Well, what else could we do? In the cage, they'd have been a constant reproach to us. And Father does it so nicely. They're always drugged in their sleep, and we tell their families they died of scarlet fever in Butte. I'm not sure how that affects the statistics there.
Of all the horrible...
It is not. After all, it'd be terribly boring here without ever having anybody. Why, Father and Mother have sacrificed some of their best friends.
You're no better than... That's what they plan to do with me, then.
Couldn't you try to forget it? Be nice to me until you're put away. It's only for 2 or 3 weeks.
You'd go on this way, kissing, talking about love, when you know I'm not much better than a corpse.
You're not a corpse. You're not. I won't have you saying I kissed a corpse.
That wasn't what I said.
You did, too.
I did not.
You said that...
Now, just a moment.
Father.
Who kissed a corpse?
Nobody. We were just joking.
Now, you two haven't any business here anyway. Now, Kismine, go read. Go play golf. Now, don't you let me find you here when I come back.
Yes, Father.
Yeah. Good day, children.
You see, now he knows you've spoiled everything. You don't really love me.
Kismine, you... Oh, what's the use? What if you are rich and have this place? Why would it be so terrible if anyone found out about it?
Why, it's on account of the diamond, of course.
Diamond? What is this diamond all of you talk about?
Well, it's... You'd better ask Percy. I'm always getting things mixed up.
I will ask him. And another thing. I'm getting out of here tonight if I have to dig through the mountains. I'm going back east.
Take me with you.
No.
Why not?
Your father wouldn't permit it.
If you won't take me, I'll go tell him I want to marry you.
You can't do that. He'd bumped me off this afternoon.
Oh, please take me, darling. And we'll be terribly poor and very happy. And I'll cook things for you, herbs and berries and stuff. Won't that be fun? Oh, you will, won't you, John?
Well, my head was really in a whirl. This whole thing was fantastic. And so was the family. Even Kismine. I couldn't think of anything to do, but I rushed to see Percy.
But, John, why didn't you ask me before?
Because I thought you were kidding all the time.
I know. You wouldn't believe me if I'd told you.
I'm ready to believe anything now.
Well, it was my grandfather who started the whole thing, purely by accident. He came out here from Virginia after the war between the states and stumbled onto it.
Onto what?
The diamond, of course. That's what made all this possible. Grandfather spent 2 years going around to different cities of the world selling bits of it. Then he started building this place. He put his money into jewels, but Father found that radium took up much less space.
But why the secrecy?
Oh, it just wouldn't do if anyone found out. Ruin the whole economy of the world. The thing's too big.
This has been going on for 3 generations. Well, and the cage and this thing of inviting friends.
Oh, yes. You see, there wasn't really any danger before airplanes. They are what worry us.
And you knew when you invited me here what would happen.
Please, John. I thought you'd be more sensible about it. After all, you can see my position.
Yeah. Where is it? Where do you keep this diamond that's caused so cockeyed much trouble?
Oh, I thought you'd guessed. You've noticed the hill the chateau stands on?
Yes.
It contains a cubic mile. And except for a thin covering of dirt, it's one big, solid diamond.
It was nearly midnight. I didn't know what awakened me, but all of a sudden I was staring across the patches of moonlight, spotting the ermine carpet of my bedroom. Staring at 3 slaves I'd never seen before. They just slipped inside the door and stood there, each with a vicious length of shiny copper wire. The official executioners. I lay there on the bed watching them, counting heartbeats, not daring to move, not daring not to move. They didn't know I'd wakened. They began edging across the room.
Come on, all 3 of you. There's no time now for this. All hell's broken loose. Hurry.
I took one long, deep breath. The first one in several moments. Then I was out of the bed in an instant, throwing on my clothes and dashing through the long crystal corridor to Kismine's room. Kismine, are you awake?
John, over here by the window. So they woke you up, too.
If you mean 3 of your father's slaves...
No, airplanes.
Airplanes. So that's what it is.
At least a dozen. I saw them crossing against the moon. Look, they're circling way over there.
You think they're here on purpose?
Oh, yes. They dropped warnings to Father. It's that man who got away from the cage, you know.
Good for him.
Yes, wasn't he clever? I think we'll open up on them any second now.
Open up?
Yes, our anti-aircraft. Oh, this is going to be thrilling.
Thrilling?
Oh, look, they're in range now. Bravo! Bravo!
Kismine, get away from that window!
Good heavens. Did you see that?
Yes, and we've got to get out of here. Can't you understand?
There's a little grove of trees across on the side of the mountains. We always keep one of the cars there. We'll have a nice view of everything.
A nice view? Gizmine, you don't seem to understand. They mean business. They're out to finish off you and your whole family.
But it all seems so silly. Or when you come right down to it, they've never even met us. What time is it, John? Is it morning yet?
I don't know. I've lost my watch. Seems to be getting lighter, all right.
It's quieter, too.
Your guns. They're knocked out. Every last one of them. It won't be long now.
It seems such a shame. The family put so much work on the place. Everything's always been so pleasant.
Yeah. You better get some sleep, Gizmine. I'm going to walk down the path a little ways.
You'll come back.
Yes, Gizmine. I'll come back. At the edge of the wood, I stopped and looked out across the valley toward the wrecked chateau standing on its diamond hill. And then suddenly, 3 men appeared bearing a heavy burden among them. It was Mr. Washington and 2 of the slaves.
All right. This is far enough. We'll stop here. Now, hoist it up and hold it there. Both together now. Easy now. Easy.
The burden they held up to the heavens was an immense diamond.
Now, you out there. You there.
I could see no one else anywhere in view.
You above there. I want you to understand this is only a sample. I'll give you 1,000, cut as fine, set in pedestals of platinum. And I'll build you a temple 1,000 feet high, cast of solid gold. And on the top of it, I'll put 1 diamond 100 feet across.
A thought began to dawn on me. I couldn't believe it.
I'll letter your name in the temple in emeralds. And I'll see that the whole world worships at its base. All you have to do is make everything the way it was before.
Mr. Washington was offering a bribe to God. He stopped talking and waited. And then, out of the silent heavens, blossomed the white puffs of parachutes. The man who had tried to bribe God looked up and saw them. And he became old in an instant. And turning with lowered head, walked down the path toward the chateau. With sudden premonition, I whirled and headed for the spot where I'd left Gizmine. Gizmine in the car that needed no roads.
Haven't we gone far enough, John?
I suppose. We're 10 miles from the chateau.
It's all so hectic. This rushing about and losing sleep and everything.
Hand me those field glasses.
Here they are. You see anything?
No. Oh, wait.
What is it?
It's your father and mother. And Percy. They're going into a tunnel down below the chateau. They've got an underground escape.
No, I remember now. The mountain's wired. Some kind of an atom bomb.
Atom? Atomic bomb?
That's it. Father's had it for years. He always said it would disintegrate the whole works, diamond and all. Of course, he only regarded it as a last resort.
So he'd rather have it like that. They're all inside the tunnel now. I can see the troopers moving in.
I don't suppose there's really anything to be done about it now.
And there wasn't.
I keep thinking about things the way they were. It was all so pleasant. I don't suppose it'll ever be exactly like that again.
Not ever, Kismine. And maybe it never was. Youth is a time for dreaming. Dreams die, too.
I'll probably have to take in washing. But of course we'll be very happy. What will we do, John?
Do? Oh, we can love a while underneath the stars. That's a form of divine drunkenness we can all try. And then there may be other diamonds in the world, who knows? And even though it's a shabby gift, there's always disillusion. Turn up your collar, Kismine, before you catch pneumonia. Let's go to sleep.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Tonight we have brought you The Diamond as Big as the Ritz by F. Scott Fitzgerald, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, with editorial supervision by John Dunkel. In tonight's cast were Sam Edwards, Peggy Weber, Danny Merrill, John Daner, and Don Diamond. Special music by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
Each time you fall asleep, you find yourself dreaming the same strange dream, one in which you live out your life in the distant future, and always a hideous fate moves closer to you, a fate from which you cannot escape.
Next week, we escape with another great story by one of the world's greatest authors. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is Roy Rowan speaking for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Time now for Rocky Jordan. Not far from the Mosque Sultan Hassan in Cairo stands the Cafe Tambourine, run by Rocky Jordan. The Cafe Tambourine, crowded with forgotten men, alive with the babble of many languages. For this is Cairo, where modern adventure and intrigue unfold against a backdrop of antiquity. Tonight's story, Desert Betrayal.
There are 5 times in a day when a foreigner like myself tries to stay off the streets of Cairo. That's at dawn, noon, late afternoon, sunset, and just after dusk, when the muezzin appears in his minaret to call the faithful to prayer. At that moment, all activity stops, and the devout Muslim kneels on his rug facing Mecca. Keeping away from them at those times is one respect we can pay their religion, and they appreciate that respect. But I guess I wasn't watching the clock this particular evening. My Cafe Tambourine still held the intense heat of the day, so I got out and walked down the crowded Sharia Lagoon toward the Nile to try and catch a cool breeze. I just stopped to glance at a big poster, something about a rally for the politician El Marmad Bey, when I heard the voice of the muezzin in the minaret high above me. Suddenly, all sounds of activity stopped as the natives faced east, their foreheads to the ground. As quick as I could, I ducked back through a narrow passage off the street that led to the winding stairs of the minaret. I waited there until sounds from the street told me prayers were over and the Cairenes were again about their business. Then I was about to be on my way when the scream came from the minaret. As I turned and looked up, I saw the bearded muezzin in his flowing robe stagger out of the tower, pitch headlong down the winding stairway. He rolled over and over, and he didn't stop till he sprawled at the bottom, almost at my feet. It was like something out of a bad opera, and for a split second I couldn't move.
But the red splotches from stab wounds spreading across his white robe snapped me out of it, and I rushed over to him. All right, easy there. Try not to move. Who did this? You've got to tell me. Listen, who did it? I guess he figured he was done for, and there was a look almost of ecstasy on his kindly face. But I didn't want to give up that easy. I made a move to try and stop the bleeding when I heard heavy footsteps coming down the stairway. It was another figure in the robes of a muezzin, only he had a black field boots on. Come on, hurry up, will you? Help me with this man.
Shut up and get back.
We gotta work fast. He's sure to
Quiet,
die.
I said, and move.
I'm not
Must
going
I
anywhere.
tell you again?
Since when does a muezzin carry a luger?
Don't touch him. You've stepped in where it doesn't concern you.
Yeah, maybe it's lucky I did.
Think again, my friend. It's your misfortune.
I felt the blow of his heavy luger across my face, and that was all. Only a roaring like a calm scene on the desert, and me spinning with the wind, till it seemed to pitch me back down to the foot of the minaret. The pain in my head drove me to my senses, and when I opened my eyes, it was pitch dark. The dead body of the kindly muezzin lay beside me. Just as I realized I was clutching something tightly in my hand, a flashlight stabbed right in my eyes.
So, it is you, Mr. Jordan. Get up at once.
Well, good hunting, Greco. Who called you?
There was no police call. Ali,
Alva, Sergeant Greco.
take the knife from this man.
Knife?
The one in your hand, Mr. Jordan. You need not feign surprise. You do not deceive me.
Getting ideas already, Greco?
Hand over the knife.
I'll take it. I don't use knives.
Indeed. However, it was in your hand, stained with the blood of the sacred muezzin lying dead by your side.
Look, don't you know a plant when you see one?
Enough. This time you have overstepped yourself, Mr. Jordan.
Okay, arrest me. Get it over with.
Perhaps that will not be necessary. I need only to call the people in from the street to witness this thing.
What are you getting at?
When the news spreads that their revered religious leader has met violent death by the hands of an unbeliever, you will be disposed of very quickly.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I would be helpless against the mob. You see, Mr.
Better
Jordan?
get some sense now, Greco. If the muezzin's death gets out, there'll be a lot of repercussions. You think Sabaya'd put another stripe on your sleeve if that happened?
My personal ambitions have nothing to do with this.
Think it over.
Mr. Jordan, you will understand that I had no intention of disclosing this to anyone, not as yet.
Sure, Greco, sure.
Ali, bring another man. You will take the muezzin to the minaret and hide his remains there.
It will be done.
One moment. Under no circumstances will you breathe a word of this to anyone. Is that clear?
It is, Sergeant Greco.
Quickly now. And you, Mr. Jordan, will come with me.
Greco waited only long enough to watch his aides lift the muezzin and carry him carefully up the steep winding steps to the tower. As they disappeared into the dark, he gave me a shove and I walked ahead out into the street. Neither of us spoke a word on our ride to headquarters. I was taken to Sabaya's office, and a couple of guards held me there for maybe half an hour till Sam made his appearance. Greco was with him, and they motioned the guards outside. It was all just a little too deliberate. Greco been telling you things, Sam?
Keep silent until spoken to, Mr. Jordan.
Then let's get at it.
Jordan, I have Greco's statement. You were found at the foot of the Mongar minaret beside the dead body of the muezzin.
Did he tell you I'd been knocked out cold, Sam?
A trick, Captain. He was trapped and could do nothing but pretend that he also had been attacked.
Then explain the shape my face is in, Greco.
Your face is smashed up in many ways.
One moment,
Mr.
Greco. Now, Jordan, I will hear your full explanation of this affair.
I was standing at the foot of the tower stairs during the last call to prayer.
Did you, an American, not know better than to be there at such a time?
I ducked in there to get off the street.
Go on.
And the muezzin rolled down the steps right at my feet. Before I could get anything out of him, somebody else in a muezzin's robe showed up.
There is no other muezzin at the minaret.
You're right, Greco. He wasn't a muezzin. He wasn't an Egyptian. He had on German field boots, and he carried a luger.
Jordan, what fantastic tale are you trying to make me believe?
Listen to me, Sam. The guy roughed me up against the wall and then slapped his gun across my face.
He is lying, Captain. Ask Mr. Jordan how he got this knife in his hand. You can see for yourself.
Put the knife on the desk, Greco. I do not wish to look at it again.
As you wish. The muezzin had been stabbed 4 times. I thought it best, under the circumstances, to have his body hidden in the minaret.
Yes. You acted most wisely, Greco.
I was only doing my duty, Captain Sabaya.
Jordan, about this man with the luger. Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
You bet I would.
You have told me everything?
That's right.
And you can explain nothing of the other similar acts of violence against our holy men here in Cairo?
Well, there have been others?
This is the third muezzin to die in the past month, all by the knife.
But why, Sam? What's it all about?
I do not know, but I intend to find out. Jordan, there are things a man like you would not understand. That my people take their religion most seriously. Quite often, our emotions become strongly involved.
Well, maybe I do understand, Sam. Every man has a religion, whether he knows it or not.
But there are differences.
Sure. I've knocked around enough to learn to respect another man's beliefs. That's why I get off the street.
We will not go over that again.
Oh, okay, but you can't hold me, Sam.
Indeed I can, Jordan. You will be committed to jail pending further investigation.
So that's the way it is.
That will be all. Greco, I must hurry to the El Mahmad Bey political rally. We have promised him police protection. Put Jordan in a cell.
This way, Mr. Jordan.
Oh, Greco, you had best place him in the old cell block across the alley and under heavy guard.
I know better than to try and figure out what goes on in Sabaya's mind. But I had a hunch he was locking me up more than anything for my own protection. And the old cell block would be the last place a mob would try and hunt me out. Greco made a big thing of it as he and two others directed me down a corridor to the back door. A dim bulb over the entrance was all that lit the alley. Greco motioned across to a dingy sandstone building about 30 feet on down, and I moved ahead. I had taken not more than a dozen steps when it began to happen. A whole bunch of them came out of nowhere, everyone hooded, surrounded Greco and his guards. Made quick work of it.
Stop at once, I command you!
One of the hooded men was out of the scuffle and had me by the arm.
Get moving, Jordan.
What is this?
We'll call it a rescue.
Maybe I don't want it.
Shut up, you fool. Now move.
By that time, they were all around me, dragging me up the alley. Somewhere back, I could hear an alarm sounding and the shouts of more men running out of headquarters. But already we had reached a side street where a light field truck was waiting, its motor running. The hooded figures piled me in, the driver put it in gear, the wheels spun, and we were careening off down the narrow, winding streets. Oh, we must have traveled every side street in Cairo to shake the police. Finally, the truck roared across the Bulak Bridge of the Nile, through Giza, on west and north above the Nile Valley as it meets the desert. As the truck picked up speed, the men relaxed their grip on me, peering ahead to the onrushing road, so I had a chance to look them over. Well, the top man had called it to a rescue, but I knew better. Every one of them was wearing German field boots and carrying a Luger. The jump was a risk, but I knew there was nothing alongside but soft sand, and was the only way. I waited till we hit a sharp, bumpy curve, and I was off and rolling. And the fourth time over, I was on my feet, clawing my way through the brush. Then they opened up. I dived for a ditch with the wind knocked out of me. I stayed there, my face in the sand, waiting for them to flush me out, knowing exactly what would happen when they did.
You are listening to Desert Betrayal, tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan. Travel to the ends of the earth tomorrow night with Dick Powell and Signe Hasso, who will recreate their original screen roles on CBS Radio Theater. To the Ends of the Earth is the story of the expose of an international narcotics ring, and makes for an exciting story. Remember Dick Powell and Signe Hasso tomorrow, Monday night at 6. Now we return you to Cairo and tonight's adventure with Rocky Jordan, Desert Betrayal.
It was a peaceful evening as I stood at the foot of the minaret and listened to the muezzin's call to prayer. But all that was changed a few seconds later when the muezzin lay dying at my feet. A man wearing German field boots and a gun to match planted the killing on me. Not long after, as I was being taken to a jail cell, the same man with a lot of helpers broke it up, dumped me in a truck, and roared out into the desert. I remember jumping from the speeding truck, some gunshots, and not much more, till a breath of air hit me. And it wasn't air off the desert. It smelled of cheap gin, like my cafe tambourine after a hard night. It came from somebody bending over me.
Get up, monsieur, before they find you.
Where are they?
Searching the brush and the other side of the sand dune. Up with you now.
Yeah. Where are we going?
To my hut. Only a little way. Allez, monsieur, allez!
Somehow she got me to her hut and dropped me on a cot. The dive off the truck must have jolted me plenty because right then I passed out for a while. Well, the next thing I knew, it was daylight and I was wide awake and choking for breath. She was sharing her cheap gin with me.
The gin, it helps, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, they sell stuff that bad?
Oh, so it is champagne you wish.
No, no, I'm sorry. I woke up too quick.
Oh, it is nothing.
Anyhow, you took a lot of chances, sister.
I am Suzette. Perhaps another drink now?
No, thanks.
As you wish.
Any of those guys come around?
No, monsieur. They went away.
Looks like you got a good hideout here.
Oh, well, we all hide from something, n'est-ce pas?
Yeah, me from too many things.
You do not tell me who you are, monsieur.
The name's Jordan.
And an American who flees from many men with guns on the desert.
Oh, I hopped off a truck. They were taking me someplace.
But why?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Many trucks have been going into the desert.
Yeah? Where to, Suzette?
I do not know. But something is going on out there. You were captured, monsieur?
Oh, rescued, they called it.
You make a strange riddle.
Oh, yeah, it's a beauty. The Moaisian is stabbed to death in Cairo. Not the first to be killed. But whoever did it figured I knew too much. Before the police could salt me away, this gang grabbed me.
Monsieur, what were they like?
Well, they weren't Muslims. They were men who speak good English and carry
Oh,
Lugers.
sacre nom.
You got it figured, Suzanne?
Oh, always it is the same. So it was with the betrayal of France. Always I do not realize...
What are you talking about?
Monsieur, in France they call me a traitor. It was not so. I did not know I was being used by the enemy.
It makes some sense, huh?
Oh, now I am a poor French woman in Egypt without credentials. I must exist as best I can. When there is an opportunity to sell munitions and guns into Egypt, what can I do?
The trucks are taking munitions into the desert?
Oui. But I did not know.
Who's the deal with, Suzette?
It is a bad deal.
Hey, come on, never mind the gin. Who'd you sell the stuff to?
There is a man named Frank Cruller.
Where do I find him?
A houseboat on the Nile. The Habira 16.
All right, let's have some more.
Oh, no, monsieur, already I have said too much. You rest now. You will need much strength for what is ahead.